喂。好，各位小朋友早安！今天 Teacher Julie 要跟大家介绍她的家乡越南，然后今天 Teacher Julie 会带着大家去看看越南很多很漂亮的景色，有很漂亮的神秘洞穴，还有惠安古镇的灯笼，还有下龙湾，所以我们跟着 Teacher Julie 一起来看看越南很漂亮的地方。好，那我们欢迎 Teacher Julie。
Okay, so everyone remember or may know that I'm from Vietnam, right? I'm Vietnamese. So there's a lot of things in Vietnam that I want to introduce to you. And today, because before we already talked about something about Vietnam culture, and today we're gonna talk about the landscapes in Vietnam. So the beautiful scenes in Vietnam, okay? First of all, Vietnam is a country in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is the under part of Taiwan. Taiwan is in the north of Asia. Okay, so in Vietnam, we have a lot of mountains, rivers, and beaches. You can see that this is the map of Vietnam, and Vietnam is a long country, right? Vietnam has this side is the beaches, and that side is next to 3 countries, which is China, Laos, and Cambodia. Okay, so because the map of Vietnam is you can see that it's very diverse, right? We have mountains, we have the sea, we have the beaches. And now I'm going to take you first to one of the beaches, okay? This is called Hạ Long Bay. Hạ Long means descendant dragon, which means that a dragon is going down. And bay, you can see bay is the rock. You can see the rock here, right? A lot of rocks. So we call it Hạ Long Bay. And Hạ Long Bay is in the north of Vietnam, and it has a lot of, you can see that small islands, small rocks to big rocks like that, okay? We can actually go to one of the islands there, and we can kind of like walk around it, but we cannot stay in it, okay? And you can see that the beaches is very green. It's so beautiful, right? It's so incredibly green. And this is actually one of the famous place in the world that we got recorded in the UNESCO for the landscape, okay? So this is actually a very much of a famous tourist attraction. Okay, this is how Ha Long Bay look like from the top. So you can see there's a lot of rock, right? Even if it's big or it's small, and we take a boat. Okay, we take a boat on the sea and go around and like take pictures and like look at how beautiful it is. Okay, next one. Next one is Hội An Ancient Town. Hội An Ancient Town is in the central of Vietnam. So it is located in the Da Nang city. We got a city called Da Nang in the middle of Vietnam, and Hội An Ancient Town is actually one of the famous tourist attractions in the central Vietnam. It is considered the most worth living city in Vietnam. So basically, if you choose to live in Vietnam, a lot of people would say, oh, you should live in Da Nang city, okay? Because there's a lot of things like to do there. everything is cheap and like you got a lot of things to see. It's beautiful and it's good and it's peaceful. So, and Hoi An ancient town is famous for a lot of, you can see the old houses. These are the houses in Hoi An ancient town because you can see that it has a very yellow color and it looks old. But it is actually a beauty of this because it's famous for its kind of age. So we appreciate that these buildings are still here and we make it a very famous tourist attraction. And actually in Hoi An ancient town, we have these are the Vietnam traditional hats. It's the hats that you wear on your head. And it is very popular in Da Nang City, especially in Hoi An ancient town, because they sell a lot of these hats. It's called Nón Lá. And because actually Hoi An is very old, right? And we try to embrace all of the traditions of Vietnam in this ancient town. And you can see that there's a lot of color in this town at night because we have a long river. So a lot of people, they would go by boat to travel around the town at night. And you can see that there are lanterns all around the town. And this is actually one of the beauty kind of like mark of the Hoi An ancient town because you can see that there's a lot of lanterns and we sell a lot and we also use them to decorate for our streets. This is how Hoi An look like at nights. Okay, next one. We go to the caves in Phong Nha. Phong Nha Kẻ Bàng is a national park in the north of Vietnam. And this beauty locates in Quảng Bình. Is actually a central province of Vietnam. And this park is surrounded by mountain and forest. And actually, it makes this park way more kind of natural, and it also makes the beauty of this park. Okay, these are the caves that I want to talk about. So this is called the Sơn Đông Cave, and this is the world's biggest natural cave. So you can see that there's actually a cave in the mountain. And this is very interesting, isn't it? Because you actually can go in here, you can trek, you can walk in, you can go around, but it's really dangerous and it's really hard. So a lot of people, they have to pay for that service to go around and to see the beauty of this cave. And this is recorded as the world's biggest cave in the world. And it's located in Vietnam, okay? This is our pride. And this one is Phong Nha Cave. Phong Nha Cave is another cave in this area. And with this cave, we can go in by the boats. So we can use the boats and we float on the river, on the water, and we get in and we go around to enjoy the beauty of nature. Okay. In this cave, it's actually cold and it's also dangerous. So we may have to, go through a lot of health check and to make sure that we can go in because it's actually dangerous and only the adults can go in, I think. But you can see that the beauty of nature here is so undeniable. And these are inside of the Paradise Cave. this is all natural, okay? And you can see that how could inside an underground cave could be this incredible? Because you can see there's a lot of rock, but they have some shapes that, and you can see a lot of shapes that like castles and also animals here, isn't it? Like we have a bridge here that we can go around the cave, and you can see that it looks like a paradise inside this. So this attracts a lot of foreigners and tourist people, even Vietnamese people. They all want to visit the cave for once in their life because this looks so incredible, isn't it? Okay, next one. We talk about the mountain. This is Phan Xipang Mountain, which is the highest mountain in Vietnam. And it is about above 3,000 meters tall. And okay, you can see that here. If you reach to this mountain, actually around you are clouds. So you're like floating on the sky, isn't it? And if you try to get to on top of this mountain, it is the landmark that you could reach. And it say you're at the top of the mountain, and this is the landmark. Okay, so on this mountain, we have 1 or 2 temples on top of the mountain. And this is very beautiful temples, and they are very peaceful and quiet. So basically, if you go on top of the mountain, you need to visit these temples. You can see that the Buddha is surrounded by clouds. And if you can also go to this mountain by cable car or by train. And if you go by cable car or by train, you can pass the very beautiful high mountain rice terrace. These are the rice terrace, okay? And this is the Sapa province. So it's also another beautiful place of Vietnam. So I will show you a little of this video because we kind of run out of time. But okay, will show you. Okay, so that's also the end of today cultural exchange, and I hope that you know more about Vietnam. And if you have a chance to go to Vietnam, please consider these places, okay, because those are our pride. Thank you.
好，我们很谢谢今天 Teacher Julie 跟我们的分享。我们来回顾一下今天 Teacher Julie 跟我们分享什么。好，他首先呢，他先让我们认识了越南有一个地方叫做下龙湾。那它这边有很多很多的石灰岩的小岛，然后看起来就很像那个龙从海底里面这样冒出来，所以它才叫下龙湾。然后呢 Teacher Julie 又跟我们分享了下一个景点是惠安古镇。那这边就会有很多黄色的老老的房子，然后呢，这个结合了日式、还有中式、还有西方的建筑风格，然后制作成的这样子的文化的房子。那它这边呢，晚上的时候就会有很多的灯笼，然后游客就会在那边放水灯去做祈福的动作。好，然后接下来我们还认识了，好，就是越南有很多的洞穴，然后是很天然的洞穴，然后它里面呢有很多很特别的图案，然后有些很像天堂城堡啊，还有像动物等等。对，那今天呢，老师呢 Teacher Julie 为大家这样子分享之后，希望大家可以更认识越南的美丽的风景还有文化。那希望今天的活动可以让大家更认识世界，也希望大家可以学会欣赏不同的国家文化。那我们今天活动就到这边结束，谢谢大家。